TheorySabers.com.
All right, so let's start with a pretty chill, easy one. And we'll start with Jackson. Do you know, Theory, first question, do you know Jackson? Have you ever experienced any Jackson?
Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson. Do you know who this is? You know about this guy?
Oh, this dude, freaking Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. So Jackson, guys, is 100% canon to Star Wars Legends. I don't know if they've ever, I guess Filoni could technically bring him in or whatever. But Jackson is literally a 6 foot tall green rabbit that dresses in like this orange basic Star Wars thing here. And he's absolutely canon. I'll read this little summary here. Nearly 6 foot tall, green furred Leppy smuggler and captain of Rabbit's Foot, known for his wisecracks and high kicks, Jackson has helped Han Solo and Chewbacca out on more than one occasion. Cantabidler Leppy Jackson okay, that's in French. Okay, so that's just the basic description there. So yeah, Jackson, what do you think of?
They do that in Star Wars sometimes. They come up with these like random characters and they throw them in there into the comics or whatever it might be and leave them there.
Yeah, so this comes from, I guess, the Marvel Star Wars comics when they first started doing it. And I wonder what the idea was, right? Like, because it feels Bugs Bunny. I looked at some of the comics. He has almost a Deadpool. Yeah. He almost has like a Deadpool kind of a vibe. So yeah, I mean, what would you think about Jackson becoming canon? Like, what if like
I'd rather not.
You don't think so? You don't think it'd be cool?
No, I don't want a bunny.
I think if you do a cantina scene, okay, you got a cantina scene and you're just panning through, you know what I mean? You're just coming through. Maybe it's a show, maybe it's a new movie or something like that. And you're panning. I would not hate a couple of green ears. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just coming over the top of somebody. Like, yeah, I'm kind of down with it. I mean, we got the werewolf homie. You got the werewolf man. There's weirder shit, as we're about to find out. There's a lot.
Well, I mean, there's alien shit. Yeah, there's alien shit. But I mean, yeah, this is a little too on the nose for Bugs Bunny.
Chat, what do you think? Hell nah? Yes? This guy says I'd rather him than Ray. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Jackson, guys. How many of you guys knew about this? I kind of had heard of Jackson.
You were like Jackson. I was like Jackson what?
Well, we're gonna get there, dude. We're gonna get there. Don't worry. So yeah, that's number 10, guys. Nothing too crazy there, not too wild. We'll go ahead and we'll go to number 9. Now, this is gonna be one that a lot of people know about. You probably know about this one too, Theory. And this would be The Death of Chewbacca. Have you read this book? Do you know about this lore?
The Death of Chewbacca. Yeah, he died in NJO. Which was I think it was a stupid decision.
Yeah, so I watched a couple of videos on this. I watched some interviews.
Prime.
Yeah, apparently, so this was all during a time. Yeah, it was in Vector Prime. This was all during a time where they were trying to like revitalize the publishing arm of Lucasfilm. And there was even a commercial. I don't know if you remember this. There was a commercial on the Sci-Fi Channel that had Mark Hamill's voice. Okay. And it literally talked about how he had this adventure. He didn't know if they were going to be able to survive this one or whatever, right? And it like hyped up these books at NJO. And you have James Luceno forms like a story group of these writers. And I think they tell this story. It goes 19 books in 4 years. And it's like, basically one of the last publishing initiatives of Lucasfilm before Disney, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of like interesting canon was that. So at the time, James Luceno was looking for a really big character to kill off because he wanted something that was going to be impactful. He wanted to like shake up the Star Wars fandom. And there was some Star Wars novels at the time that were selling well, that were kind of on the darker side, right? And so they kind of almost take it in this dark direction. George tells them no because they originally wanted to kill off Luke Skywalker. And I thought that was really interesting, man. Like they want to kill Luke, right?
That's so
and
stupid.
It's like even back in 99, which would have been 26 years ago, George was like, no.
So in the 80s, they were talking about when they were making Jedi, they were talking about killing off Luke. And George was like, no, you don't do that. You don't kill off the main character because you alienate your audience.
Exactly.
Just for shock value or like,
Exactly.
he's like, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It just seems like these,
Isn't it ironic though?
everybody else wants to kill off Luke except for the guy who created Luke.
And dude, I think that James Luceno's a great writer. You know what I mean? But it kind of goes back to this thing of like, so his instinct comes from the place of writer, not necessarily like legacy holder of epic fairy tale modern mythology, right?
Right.
So like
right.
George is just looking at it through a different lens. But I thought that was so interesting that like even in 99, 26 years ago, the person that's trying to build, because it's like very similar. I mean, NJO is very similar to like Disney gets Star Wars and they're like, yo, let's cook. Like, what are we going to cook up? It's very similar. The NGO guys and James Luceno were like, what are we going to cook up for the next part of this story? And they're like, we need a big thing. You know, we need a big thing. Let's kill Luke Skywalker. Or Kathy says, like, let's shit on Luke Skywalker and then kill him, right?
Kill him, yeah.
But yeah. So it's just funny that, like, even back then, you know, George was like, no. Now, he said, you cannot kill, from what I've researched, he said to them, you cannot kill any of the main characters, the main three, like the main.
Right. Yeah.
But everybody else is open season. So then they decide to go with Chewbacca. So how much do you know about the death of Chewbacca?
It was stupid. They left him on that planet, and then the freaking moon collapsed on his ass.
Yeah,
and he died.
Yeah,
he died to save Han and his son.
Yes, to save Anakin. Yes. So the whole so this was something fans hated, guys. You know what I mean? Many of you guys were not there. And to be honest, like I wasn't really there. I wasn't like really engaged in it. But this was pretty controversial and people were pretty mad about it. So what happens is the moon, this is the introduction of like the Yuuzhan Vong and like this coming war and this big crazy conflict. And so the Vong figure out a way to basically get this moon to just like start to slam into the planet. And they go there and they're trying to like figure it out. And they're trying to do all of this stuff. And then Han's son, Anakin, ends up screwing up. And Chewie has to go like save him in the end, but Chewie cannot save both himself and Anakin, and so he makes this big heroic sacrifice. And then there's this really funny part in the book where Chewie, like the moon is fucking crashing into Chewie,
and he's like screaming. He's like,
yeah, dude, yes, which is, I mean, it's been memed on to death because it's the silliest, stupidest, but also, you know, kind of I don't know, badass chat. Like, is this? I don't know. I mean, it's
not badass. It's stupid. I don't like how he died.
It's pretty silly.
I think he would have been more interesting if he had survived throughout.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, so from what I understand, and I have not read a lot of Han at that time, but it really, from what I understand, it really hurts the Han character because Han without Chewie is a very difficult thing to write. It's like a piece of him's missing. He's really depressed. And he also does, obviously, you would have problems with Anakin. You know, you would have some issues with your son for kind of fucking up and getting your best friend killed. So there's interesting stuff there, and I understand why the writers do it and want to do it. But to this day, guys, it goes down as a super unhinged piece of Star Wars lore, a super big piece of lore that a lot of fans did not like, and the ninth on our list